Hello everybody and welcome to a train simulator video. Today we shall be driving a Class 172 Turbostar from Barking to Gospel Oak. So the first thing we need to do is turn off the dialog box here, and the next thing we need to do is open the doors by pressing T. We then need to put the train into forward gear by pressing W and cancel the AWS by pressing Q. And the last thing we need to do is we need to turn on the train headlights by pressing H twice. We'll just also quickly nip out to the external view and check that our destination blind is set for Gospel Oak. On the Class 172 Turbostar, which comes with North London and Goblin, with the North London and Goblin line add-on for Train Simulator, you can of course change the destination blind in the game using Control Shift 5 or 6. So we can now depart, and in reality the Class 172s on London Overground are driver only operated, though in the game we still get the buzzer to depart from the guard. But nevertheless the starting speed limit is 25 miles an hour, and we've got just over a mile to go before the first station stop at Woodgrange Park. Just coming in, there's a connecting link with the District and Hammersmith and City lines. And to the far left are the tracks of the London Fenchurch Street to Southend main line, which today is currently operated by C2C. Here we rise up to join up with the Barking flyover, which allows freight trains access to Dagenham. It's also used as a link by C2C trains to run into Liverpool Street late at night when Fenchurch Street is closed. So the speed limit has now jumped up to 45 mph. As you can hear, the sounds of the Class 172 are the same as the sounds that come from the existing Class 170 Turbostar that is available for Train Simulator. But Dovetail have tried to modify them slightly in order to simulate the mechanical gear changes that the Class 172s make. The Class 172s were built with mechanical gearboxes as opposed to hydraulic gearboxes, which the Class 170s use. So we've just had a warning for an upcoming 30-mile-an-hour speed restriction, which comes into effect after Woodgrange Park Station. So we're now going to brake down for Woodgrange Park, and we're going into a Step 2 brake application. The platforms on the route between Gospel Oak and Barking are very short, so we want to be entering them no faster than anywhere between 20 and 25 mph. And here we are at Wood Grange Park. So departing Wood Grange Park, the starting speed limit is 30 miles an hour, and we've got about 0.83 miles to go to our next stop at Wanstead Park. So the speed limit has just now increased to 45 mph, so we can now accelerate up to that speed. For some reason the sound's going quite echoey here, as if we were going under a tunnel, and I'm not too sure why that is, but it's just gone quiet again. Just dropping the power as the speed limit is just dropping down briefly to 40 mph. And as we prepare to slow down for Wanstead Park, the speed limit has increased back up again to 45 mph. And here we are at Wanstead Park. You'll probably also notice every time we open the door at a station, the train magically knocks itself into the emergency brake position. So departing Wanstead Park, we've just got over a mile to go to the next stop at Leytonstone High Road. The Class 172 features a passenger view with view 5, which is quite nicely modelled. Looks very clean. I have been on a Class 172 myself a couple of times when I've done the Gospel Oak to Barking line. They are quite nice trains in real life. The seats are a little bit hard, but to be honest, these trains are only really meant for short journeys anyway, so I've just now cut off the power as we approach 45 mph. One of the other little problems I have with this train in particular is that you have to be quite firm when pressing the buttons on the keyboard in order to get the train controls to activate. I know this issue also occurs in a couple of other units in Train Simulator. And I'm just slowing down for Leytonstone High Road. And on the approaches to Leytonstone High Road, the speed limit drops to 40 mph. Although Leytonstone High Road is reasonably convenient for the Central Line station at Leytonstone, interchange between the two stations isn't actively encouraged. So departing Leytonstone High Road, we've got about 0.75 miles to the next stop at Leyton Midland Road. Somewhere in between Leytonstone High Road and Leyton Midland Road, we actually cross over the Central Line between Leytonstone and Leyton. And here we are at Leyton Midland Road. So departing Leyton Midland Road, we've just got over a mile to go to the next stop at Walthamstow Queens Road. Just lost a few points for speeding there as the gradient drops down. Just going to put into a step 3 brake application as we approach Walthamstow Queen's Road. Can't quite put my finger on it, but sometimes I do find the Class 170 quite awkward to drive. I'm not too sure whether the physics on this particular model aren't quite right. It does always seem to mean that I have to use at least use step 2 or step 3 of braking to bring the train into a smooth stop at the station. We've now got approximately 0.75 miles to go to the next stop at Black Horse Road. And here we are at Black Horse Road, the station providing interchange with the Victoria Line station of the same name. So departing Black Horse Road, the next station stop is at South Tottenham. Just slowing the train down for an upcoming speed reduction to 20 mph, which is what the AWS warning was for. I'm not too sure why there's a sudden drop to 20 at this point. It seems like the trains could still maintain a speed of 45 mph here. Whether it's due to the whether it's down to the weakness of the bridge or what, not too sure. As you can see, we've also lost quite a lot of speed quite quickly there. The rolling resistance on the 172 isn't the best in the world. I always seem to find myself fighting with the train to get it to move and brake at the same time. And really, that's how it shouldn't be. A train like this should be fairly easy and relaxing to drive. I'm now going to cut the speed down as we approach 40 mph, as the speed limit is due to drop down again. In fact, just before we approach South Tottenham Station, it's dropping down to 30 mph. And once again, the sound is quite echoey here. So I'm not quite sure what they were thinking about making the sound echoey here, as the train certainly isn't in a tunnel. But nonetheless, nevertheless, we are now at South Tottenham Station. We haven't got long to go now. We've only got Haringey Green Lanes, Crouch Hill, Upper Holloway and Gospel Oak to go now. So the next stop is Haringey Green Lanes, and that's just over a mile away. So the speed limit is now 30 mph. And here we are at Haringey Green Lanes. So our next station stop is at Crouch Hill, and that's just under a mile away. The speed limit is still 30 mph. So departing Crouch Hill, the next stop is Upper Holloway, which is just under a mile away. As you've probably noticed, the distance between stations on the Gospel Oak to Barking line is very short as well. At this signal the speed limit jumps up to 55 mph, but I'm not going to speed up as we are now approaching Upper Holloway. So departing Upper Holloway, we've just got over a mile to go to our final stop at Gospel Oak. Departing Upper Holloway, we've received an AWS warning for a speed restriction that doesn't apply to us. But shortly after the next signal, the speed limit does drop down to 40 mph. I'm just dropping the controller down to the off position. At the next signal, the speed limit drops down again to 20 mph. So we've just passed a cautionary aspect with a B indication, which means we are being routed into the bay platform at Gospel Oak. And just before, and just as we round this curve, just before we enter the terminal platform, we do get another speed reduction down to 15 mph. And here we are at Gospel Oak, so I'm just going to shut the train down now. And we'll just wait for the scenario to clear. And there we are, that's the end of the scenario. So we did get a couple of speeding notification. We did speed a couple of times there. It was an okay scenario, fairly okay to drive. It's nice and simple, and it doesn't take a lot of time to do. It only takes about 40 minutes to do. But as you probably as we did find out, I was struggling quite a bit to control the Class 172 at various points on the route. But other than that, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and if you would like to keep up to date with what I do on YouTube, you can of course subscribe to my channel, and you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter for further updates. So thank you very much for watching this video, and take care.